How does carbon black bond to polymers? Hello, my rubber hearts. Welcome back to another episode where we dive into the fascinating science of rubber. Today, we are going to talk about something fundamental to the rubber industry: how carbon black bonds to polymers during compounding. If you've ever wondered why carbon black is such a powerful reinforcing filler, or how it interacts with the polymer matrix, this is the episode for you. We'll explore the mechanisms behind this interaction, clear up any confusion about adsorption, absorption, and entanglement, and help you understand how these forces come together to create stronger, more durable rubber compounds. Let's start with a quick overview of what happens when carbon black is added to a rubber compound. Carbon black is a fine, high surface area material made up of fused carbon particles with a mostly graphitic structure. On its own, carbon black might not look like very much. Tiny black particles, but it plays a critical role in reinforcing rubber. It doesn't form chemical bonds with the polymer chains, like curing agents do, but it does create incredibly strong physical interactions. These physical interactions can be explained through three main mechanisms: van der Waals forces, adsorption, and polymer chain entanglement. First, let's talk about van der Waals forces. These are weak, short-range forces that act between the carbon black surface and the polymer chains. If you remember from a previous episode, van der Waals forces arise due to temporary or fluctuating dipoles, which occur even in materials that are nonpolar, like natural rubber or the surface of carbon black. You can think of them as tiny, momentary attractions that pull the polymer chains toward the carbon black surface. Because carbon black has such a massive surface area, think of thousands of nano-sized particles fused together. It creates countless tiny points of attraction. Individually, these forces are weak, but when you add up all the interactions happening across the surface of the carbon black, the result is significant adhesion. This initial physical attraction is what allows the polymer chains to stick to carbon black surface. Now, this leads us to adsorption. Adsorption is a surface phenomenon where polymer chains adhere to the surface of the carbon black particles. I want to be really clear here because adsorption is often confused with absorption, but they are very different things. Adsorption happens only at the surface, like when a thin layer of polymer sticks to the carbon black particles due to the van der Waals forces or other weak interactions. Absorption, on the other hand, is when molecules are taken into the bulk of the material, like water soaking into a sponge. In rubber compounding, adsorption is what we're dealing with. The polymer chains form what's called a bound rubber layer on the surface of the carbon black. This layer is tightly adhered and cannot be easily separated. The bound rubber immobilizes the polymer chains right at the filler interface, which is critical for reinforcement. It acts like a bridge, transferring stress between the polymer matrix and the carbon black particles during deformation. The final piece of the puzzle is entanglement. To really understand this, picture long, flexible polymer chains like strands of spaghetti. These chains naturally tangle and weave around each other due to their high molecular weight and flexibility. When carbon black is mixed into the rubber, the polymer chains entangle, not only with each other, but also with the rough and irregular surface of the carbon black particles. This surface isn't smooth. It's full of tiny pores, bumps, and irregularities, which provide anchoring points for the polymer chains. This mechanical interlocking effect adds another layer of reinforcement. As the rubber is stretched or deformed, the entangled chains resist movement, distributing the stress more evenly across the compound. The result is improved tensile strength, tear resistance, and durability. What makes all of this so effective is that these mechanisms, the van der Waals forces, adsorption, and entanglement, work together simultaneously during compounding. The van der Waals forces pull the polymer's chains toward the carbon black surface. The adsorption process locks the chain into place, forming the bound rubber layer, and the entanglement weaves the chains into the filler structure, creating a mechanical bond. This is why carbon black is such a versatile and powerful filler. Now, let's put this into context with proper compounding. The effectiveness of the carbon black polymer interaction depends on several factors, starting with the surface area of the carbon black. High surface area carbon blacks like N220 or N330 provide more surface for adsorption and entanglement, leading to stronger reinforcement. But there's a balance to strike. Too much surface area can make mixing difficult because the polymer chains struggle to penetrate the carbon black network. The type of polymer also matters. Non-polar rubbers like natural rubber or styrene-butadiene rubber primarily interact with carbon black through van der Waals forces and physical adsorption. Polar rubbers like nitrile rubber or polychloroprene can form stronger localized interactions with any functional groups on the carbon black surface. These functional groups, like hydroxyl or carboxyl groups, are minor but can enhance the interaction for certain polymers. Finally, the mixing process is critical. Proper dispersion of carbon black in the polymer matrix ensures maximum surface interaction and entanglement. If the carbon black particles aren't well dispersed, you will end up with agglomerates, clumps of filler that don't interact properly with the polymer, reducing reinforcement. This is why mixing conditions like time, temperature, and rotor speed are carefully controlled in rubber compounding. To bring it all together, carbon black doesn't chemically bond with the polymer, but it creates a strong physical interface through van der Waals forces, surface adsorption, and mechanical entanglement. These interactions reinforce the rubber, improving its strength, durability, and resistance to wear. Understanding these mechanisms is essential for anyone working with carbon black as a filler because they help you optimize the compound for specific applications. Whether you are designing a tire tread that needs maximum abrasion resistance or an industrial seal that requires high tensile strength. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the science of carbon black reinforcement, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my Rubber Heart. Let me know in the comments if you would like to learn more about fillers, mixing processes, or any other topic in rubber science. Until next time, stay curious and stay bouncy.